Hello, my friends. So Amber is back to live streaming again, right in the middle of all the Emily drama. Now, will she address it? I don't think so. In fact, rumor has it, she's got a new health scare, right on time. And you would think, at some point, she would gain just a little bit of self-awareness and realize how obvious it is when she uses a health scare as a distraction. But apparently not. So let's just see what she has to say today. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie.
I do not understand this mouse. Like, I know you guys hear it, and I'm like self-conscious about it.
Yeah, it's really loud and annoying.
It's fine. It's just like, to move the smallest little bit on my screen, I have to move my mouse like a million miles. Like, it just doesn't even make sense to me.
This is a professional YouTuber. This is a person who makes her living and has made her living on the internet for over a decade. And she doesn't know that you can just change the sensitivity in your mouse. Like, there are settings. It's very easy. Oh my God. And she's 35. It's not like she's 60 or 70. My dad just turned 73. And he can figure out how to change the sensitivity in his mouse.
How's the weather? Yesterday felt so good. Like, yesterday was the perfect day in a while. Like, it felt so good. Like, I was purposely finding reasons to take Twinkie out more than usual.
Okay. And she's not wrong. Yesterday was a beautiful day in Oklahoma. And today was pretty good too. It's going to start getting hot again tomorrow, unfortunately. But she's going to take Twinkie out more than usual. Well, I guess anything is more than zero. So I guess if she took her out once, then she's not lying. But I'm going to guess it's still zero. If she takes Twinkie out once a day, I will eat my hat.
Am I working right now? Yeah, I work on and off all day because my attention span. I'm also filming a short for you guys. So
Okay. I cannot believe she's still playing along and pretending to have a job. I work off and on all day because of my attention span. You know, it's working, it's typing stuff. You know, we got to get that typing done. You know, that gibberish isn't going to type itself.
I did have a moment last night. I'm like, in my like private life, there are some things that are happening that are life altering and shattering. And I kind of just like, oh my God, you guys, I went to the hospital.
There you go. You guys, don't worry about all this stuff over here. Just ignore all of the accusations, all of the proof that has been displayed. Hospital, you guys, you really need to feel sorry for me. You can't be mad at me if I'm sick.
I went to the fucking hospital. How many days ago was this?
By the way, Rachel said in her last video that the hospital and the doctors told her there's nothing wrong with her.
Somebody says to her, "How are you doing today, girl?" She says, "I'm good, considering I was at the hospital for most of the night." Now, I already knew this way before it was public because she was using it to threaten Emily and try and get her to answer the phone. The ER told her there's nothing wrong with her, by the way, just in case anyone didn't know. I'm not sure what's been said about that.
So,
how many days ago was this? 3? So I went to the hospital. Let me explain what happened. Like, genuinely, I was terrified. I thought it was the end. Like, I genuinely thought it was the end. So I know a lot of people think that, like, I need a caretaker. A lot of people think that I, like, need help with everything. Like, literally, no, I do everything myself.
well, now when you say everything, you mean go to the bathroom, bathe yourself, and eat. But when it comes to doing anything else, if you need to go somewhere, if you've got an appointment or anything else that's outside the house, you have to rely on your mom. So yeah, you do the very basic stuff, but anything else, you are completely reliant on somebody else. You don't have the capability of doing anything for yourself other than the very, very basics.
But I know how to, like, pace myself. You guys, I'm over 500 pounds. Like, I'm not going to be, you know, running rampant like the next 150-pound person. It's just not going to happen. But I do the best that I can for my size. I love the independence of living alone. Genuinely, best thing I could ever do for myself. So
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. She loves being alone, you guys. That's why when she was concerned that Emily might leave her alone, she called her 1,000 times in one day.
I know how to pace myself, but I don't know what the fuck happened. I did not know how to pace myself. It was like 3 or 4 days ago. I can't quite remember. But I for almost 6 hours straight, I was cleaning. I was moving furniture. I do these things. And I usually do them in what I call cleaning rounds. If you guys
Is she really about to tell us that she worked so hard that she had to go to the hospital? No way. That cannot be what's happening right now. Oh my God. Really and truly, she's about to say that she was working so hard that she went to the hospital.
you guys have heard me talk about cleaning rounds a lot, and that's a good way for me to pace myself, not only mentally but also physically. Unprepared, welcome. So it was like 6 hours straight where I was just going, going, going. And it's like for some reason my brain was not computing of like, okay, maybe we need to take some like breaks, you know. And it was finally, I think I was going on.
It's true. She really is trying to convince us. Not only that she went to the hospital, but she went to the hospital because she was just working so hard, you guys. She was getting stuff done. This may be the dumbest thing I've ever heard her say.
It was like I started at like 1 p.m. and I finally was like, okay, let's like relax for the night. It was around like 7:45. And my heart, I get palpitations maybe once a month and they last for
I mean, maybe it's a coincidence that she had these palpitations, as she claims, right about the time that Emily released these texts that proved that Amber was even more of a monster than we thought. I mean, maybe it's a coincidence. I'm not surprised. If she did go to the hospital, which, I mean, it's 50-50 whether or not she actually went or if she just wants to say she went. But if she did, I wouldn't be terribly surprised. She doesn't mind wasting the hospital's time because it gives her a lot of attention. It makes her feel special when she's in there and they're all trying to figure out what's going on with her, you know?
1 second, like genuinely like 1 second. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like my mom, she's like, yeah, I get that too. Like palpitations can be quote unquote normal. I don't fucking know. It can happen for multiple reasons: dehydration, too much caffeine, the anxiety, etc. So when it started, I was like, okay, cool. It's gonna happen for like a second. I had butterflies like where my heart is located in my chest. Absolute, like, it was like the craziest thing. It was going on for like 45 minutes.
Something tells me she watched the first 45 minutes of Rachel's video and those butterflies were just going a mile a minute.
My heart would not stop beating super fucking fast. And it was so fast that like it was palpitating. And it scared me. So I called my mom and I was like, Mom, like, I need to let you know what's happening. And she was the one who was like, you should go to the hospital.
And of course, it's never her idea to go to the hospital. She's always like, I don't know if I should, and somebody else convinces her. And she does that to lend herself credibility, right? She thinks that people will assume it must have been really serious if somebody else told her to go. And to be fair, at her size, she should take heart things seriously, but I think that's why she uses her heart for all of these health scares. Because it's a thing that people know is a serious matter. So when she says, I'm having heart palpitations or, I've got a flutter in my heart, she thinks this is a good way to scare Emily and my audience because, of course, she needs people to feel sorry for her and also distract from the important stuff. And she knows that's an easy thing to say where there's no outward sign of what she's talking about, right? People can't fact check her. And so when she needs a health scare, when she needs to say something scary is happening with me and you need to feel sorry for me, having issues with her heart is a very easy way to do that.
No, Mom, no. Like, I did not want to go. I was fighting it. And then my stepdad, her fiance, they're not married yet, but I love him and he loves me and he's definitely like a father figure to me. Brian, welcome. Hello. I hear him in the background.
Oh, I do want to point out Jawbone's super chat. Now, I am a little disappointed, Jawbone. You don't need to give her money just to say something like this, but it is pretty funny. How's the guided journal writing going, dumbass? And I'm assuming he's hinting that that's what she's typing for work, but it's just the dumbass at the end. Oh man, Jawbone is so funny. If you have not watched any of his videos, he has some great one-liners and some great like names for Amber. And honestly, he has a lot of really great insights. He catches a lot of things that I think most people miss. And he is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to just sort of the history of not only Girl World, but just stuff in general. If I remember, I'll put his channel in the description. Check him out. He is so funny.
And he's like, no, Amber, you should probably go. And I don't know, that was like definitely scaring me. And my heart rate at normal, I know a lot of people don't believe it, but it's literally how it is. I check my blood pressure every single day. And when I do check my blood pressure, because I'm on medicine, if you guys don't know, when I do check my blood pressure, it also shows your heart rate. My heart rate is like,
okay, Amberlynn Reed cannot do anything every single day. She just won't, other than eat. She does not have the self-control or the time management to follow through with doing a thing every single day. She just won't. So I don't believe for a second that she takes her blood pressure every day. She takes it when she feels weird, and that's it, I would guess.
like low 70s. 68 is a sweet spot. So like low 70s, high 60s. That is normally my heart rate. So my heart rate was like 130. That is not normal for me, especially after sitting and relaxing.
You mean like every second of every day?
Trying to like calm down like for like 45 minutes. That has never happened to me in my life. So my mom, she was like, I'm taking you, I'm on my way, like get ready, like regardless, I'm coming. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So we end up going to the hospital, and I'm sitting there in the hospital bed. I'm hooked up to every fucking device you can think of. And they did all kinds of tests, but my heart rate was staying at 125. It would not go down at all. That has never happened to me. It was terrifying. But after hours, it did go down, obviously, and it genuinely terrified me. So no.
Yeah, everything does, right? Every time drama happens, honestly, something terrifies her. But I like this comment. It says, so you had a panic attack? Yeah. I wonder why.
No, it wasn't a panic attack. I was doing so after all. Let me finish, please. No, I know exactly what a panic attack was. It was definitely not that. So after, like, I got so many different talking is a great coping skill. Oh, for sure. So after they did all these tests, they came back with, no, I wasn't having a panic attack. Like I was sitting there, like I was laughing with my mom, like my stepdad came, we were just like talking, but my heart rate would not, like I didn't feel any physical symptoms, if that makes sense. A panic attack, you guys, I am crying.
She's going to spend a lot of time talking about this because A, it's a distraction from what everybody in the chat is saying. Amber, you should probably address the elephant in the room. You put that baby out, meaning Rarity, for a woman who hates you. And then Ashley here says, didn't you all know the ER visit was to make Emily stop talking, right? It's to make Emily feel bad, to scare her. Like, Emily, I'm really sick. What if something happens to me? I'm so scared. Please stop talking about me. And yeah, Binky says, sigh, same old. Yeah, this is the same crap that she has said over and over again. So while at her size, she should be concerned about her heart, she's not doing anything about it, right? She's not changing anything about her diet. This is all same old at this point. Emily dropped a bombshell, another one. Amber turns out to be worse than we thought. And she's on here. I was terrified, you guys. I was so scared. And we know she was doing the exact same thing to Emily to try to make her feel bad, try to make her contact Amber so that they could talk. Because even now, Amber will not leave Emily alone. Yeah. Dylan says, was it high blood pressure from all the E stuff? Now they're all having to say E because Emily is banned. The word Emily is banned. So yeah, the chat is really trying to get her to address the Emily situation. And yeah, according to Rachel, Emily has already said it was nothing. Jordy's unprepared live stream says it wasn't anything. We already were told via Emily. We already know there's nothing wrong. They told her there's nothing wrong. So she gives this giant story, this huge spiel about how terrified she was, you guys. But it wasn't anything.
Distraught, like I'm shaking, I have so many, like I'm hyperventilating, I have so many symptoms. My breathing was no different. I had no other symptoms. Anyways, so after they ran all the tests, they came back and they were like, it seems like you pushed yourself too hard and your heart was like you were exerting yourself for so long that your heart didn't know how to stop.
What? Your heart just forgot how to stop. I don't think your heart is supposed to stop. Like, that would be bad, I think. She is so full of shit, dude. You were working so hard that your heart went into overdrive. So either she's just making all this up, right? And that could very well be the case. Or she went to the hospital and told the doctors that she had been working so hard all day. That's why her heart was racing like that. And so the doctors are going to believe her. They're going to at least give her the benefit of the doubt because they don't know that she's a pathological liar. And so that might be the explanation that they give, but it's based on her lie. Just like her narcissism test, right? If she really has taken a narcissism test, like a real one with a therapist, which she hasn't, but if she did, she will have lied throughout the whole thing. So it doesn't really matter. The results are based on incorrect information. And that's why the doctor at the ER gave her that diagnosis, which they didn't, obviously.
That is terrifying. But I mean, they x-rayed my heart. I was hooked on EKG the whole time. Like it was genuinely scary. I was like, that has never ever happened to me. Like I've had so many panic attacks in my life. That was not that at all, in any sort of capacity.
So Choker Cheese has a super chat that says, have you seen the leaked texts? I'm not even a true fan. Okay. And even I think it's awful and reaching a bit. Obviously, you were vulnerable. So there's only two options here. Either Choker Cheese is saying this with some flowery language to try to get Amber to speak about it by sort of trying to convince Amber that Choker Cheese is on her side. Maybe Amber will talk about it. The only other option is that she actually read those texts, saw what she had said to Emily, and still thinks that we were reaching, that Amber was vulnerable, basically saying that Amber is the victim in all this. So either Choker Cheese is very smart in trying to lure Amber into speaking about it, or very, very dumb and maybe evil for being able to see what those texts said and still defend Amber.
Actually, now that I have my sleeping schedule better, like I like to do things. I like to be productive and I like to mix it up with my hobbies. So throughout the day, I work, hobby, and I just go back and forth and it's just really productive for me.
Yeah. Work, hobby. First of all, what hobby? Lego, maybe? I don't know. What other hobby could she have? Maybe journaling? It can't be anything physical. But work, my ass.
That's the way that I like to do it, also because of my attention span. But I have been like trying to take it just a little slower.
So she's saying that, the whole attention span thing, she said it twice now, because it was pretty obvious right when she said she started working, everybody was like, she can't focus on work at all. Like she would not be able to do a job because she couldn't sit still long enough to do it. She can't make it through a movie without fiddly farting around and doing something else. And of course she saw that because she looks at everything on the internet that has to do with her. So that's her trying to explain that away.
Oh my God, it was fucking scary. Like being hooked up and seeing my heart rate at 125 and literally just stayed there was terrifying.
Here she goes again. She goes on and on and on. And remember, it was nothing.
but I'm better.
You went to the ER to get Emily's attention because she ignored your shelf after you spamming her. Earth-shattering event is Emily blocking you. Get help. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Emily finally had enough and blocked her. She would think that is an earth-shattering event. 100%. I also like this name. Amber's fat fucking bullshit of a body. If you'll remember, that came from Amber's text, and that was when she was explaining how Emily ended up on the floor. It was just her body. It wasn't Amber. It was her body. That fat fucking bullshit of a body. What are you gonna do?
So that was just a scary moment that I had. And then my brain was also like, am I drinking too much caffeine? Because I am very much caffeine sensitive, but the caffeine has helped me keep momentum throughout the day. So that's why I'm like, that's like a big reason why I'm done with the coffee. But I am drinking, like, this only has 38 caffeine. So I have one of these a day, and that's that. And I drink it like throughout the day. It gets all warm and weird, but whatever. So only 38 grams is not bad.
Bullshit. I don't buy it. She drinks whatever she wants, whenever she wants. She eats whatever she wants, whenever she wants. She doesn't limit herself to anything. But then she comes online and says, yeah, I'm only drinking one of these. I'm doing so good, you guys. Like, we know that behind the scenes is a completely different picture than what she's painting in her lives. And also, she had to mention it gets all warm and weird, but whatever.
It gets all warm and weird, but whatever.
Because you know somebody would be like, you don't drink those all day because they get nasty by the end of the day. So she got out ahead of that by just saying, I drink it even though it's gross. No, you don't. She lives for things that are delicious and refreshing. And warm, flat soda is not either of those things. So of course she just drinks the good stuff.
Cannabis, hello, hello, welcome. Were you crying between your snaps yesterday? No, but it was so funny because I literally yawned right before I took like a snap, and someone's like, have you been crying? And I was LOLing because I was like, sometimes when I yawn, like a really good yawn, my eyes get like watery.
Really? No, I wasn't crying. It was a yawn. Bro, if you saw those pictures, she was either high as a kite or she had just been crying. And notice she's not using the devil horns anymore. And I think that was an Instagram thing, and now she's using Snapchat. And I think it's because that's mostly young people and kids that would buy into her bullshit. But I think the reason she's not using the devil horns anymore is because they remind her of Emily. And as stupid as those were, I honestly prefer those to this new filter because this one is just embarrassing. Like even more than the devil horns. There's no way that it was just a yawn that caused her eyes to be like that. But again, it's a convenient excuse. In fact, she probably has spent some time thinking about how she's going to answer these questions because she sees what everybody's saying about her online. So she comes to her live and she's like, if they ask me about the crying, yawn, that's it. She has that ready. What a stupid lie, too. Everybody knows she is freaking out behind the scenes. She's pretending like she's not, but it's obvious that she is affected by this. She's not unbothered.
But no, I was not crying in between, but I was crying last night, girl.
And there's some sympathy baiting, right? She wants people to ask her, why were you crying? But if she was crying, we know why. The only thing she's thinking about right now, 24 hours a day, is Emily and her new betrayal.
No crying, no. It might be the filter, which that's a new filter I'm literally obsessed with.
It's not. I've seen several people use the same filter just to see if it makes their eyes red, and it doesn't.
Gina, I actually had the Cheesecake Factory orange chicken.
And she is ignoring every super chat that says anything about Rarity or Emily. She's just ignoring it. There's nothing she can say at this point other than just lie and say the exact same things she's already said. There is really no defending or no explaining away the new texts. She is clearly an aggressor, clearly a monster, and there's no way to explain your way out. You just have to either lie or ignore it, because she's obviously not going to come clean or admit she did anything wrong or apologize.
It was so funny because like with Cheesecake Factory, you're able to put like a little note. I literally put, give me small pieces of chicken, preferably, please. And they actually did it. And I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you know, she prefers dainty chicken, you guys, for a dainty queen. That's how she's losing so much weight. That's the secret. A note to Cheesecake Factory for little chicken.
Why were you crying? It's family related and they asked me not to speak about it. So,
Oh, yeah. It's family related, you guys. It's a secret. It's a secret why I was crying last night. Okay.
just some hard stuff with family.
Yeah, Amber's fat fucking bullshit of a body says, stop lying. It's getting really embarrassing. It should be. If she had any shame at all or any self-awareness, she would be so embarrassed. But she doesn't. She has no shame. She has no moral compass. She has no self-awareness. So lying to her is her language. Her love language is lying.
Anyways, hello you guys. You guys have been asking me to come live, and I don't know. I was going to yesterday, but then like the whole like I found out really bad news again, family related, and I was just like, fuck. So
again, just like using her heart for health scares, she uses her family to explain why she's sad about stuff, right? When she doesn't want to admit that she is really crashing out about the Emily stuff, she can just say family, secret family stuff. And she knows it will actually get some sympathy from the Ambabies and the people that she has duped into believing her absolute bullshit.
I didn't think I was in the right headspace, and I was correct because all it took was one little, I hope your family is okay. We're not gonna be for the time being, but I think, you know, eventually we will be. I appreciate that, Cornbread. You're gonna make me cry.
Cornbread said, I hope your family's okay. And she says, we're not gonna be, but someday we will. She's talking about Emily. I mean, there could be something going on with her family, but 100%, the only thing on her mind right now is Emily. And I bet she's trying to get a hold of her in any way possible at this point.
Just thinking about it. No one died. Oh my god, avocado, you're seeing Billy. Why is that making me, see, now I'm emotional. I hope that you have a wonderful time. It's literally gonna be the best day of your life. I know it was for me. I wish I can go back, like genuinely, like it was so incredible. She knows how to put on a performance, I'll tell you that. It was amazing. Oh, I'm not ignoring my members. No, I just had a story time, if you will.
She is absolutely 100% ignoring specific members for saying specific things. And it became pretty obvious in those texts that Amber let Rarity out. And Amber got emotional because somebody said they're going to Billie Eilish. And Mindgrain says, because Billie reminds you of Emily. Yeah, 100%.
What was the story time? So the story time was about why I recently had to go to the hospital. These messages won't go away. No, they're not going to go away. But the thing is, they're new for you and they're not new for me. You know, it's one of those situations where it's like, I have like moved on so hard and I'm in such like a good space.
Really? You buying that? She's moved on so hard, you guys. She's in such a good space. Shut up.
That like, I'm not going to trigger myself into looking at any of that content. I'm not going to trigger myself into even addressing it. So I'm not going to. And I can be hounded until I'm literally blue in the face, until I'm beaten and bruised, and it's not going to happen. And that is for my sanity.
Well, number one, at least she said something about it. However, to me, what it sounds like she's saying is those texts and that time period traumatized her. And for her sanity, she's not going to re-traumatize herself by talking about it. Again, playing the victim Because she says, those are new to you, but they're not new to me. I've already experienced that. And I'm not going to do it again for my sanity. So maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe you can correct me. But it sounds to me like she is still doubling down on the fact that she's the victim. Even after all that we have seen from Emily, the obvious, very clear-cut proof that Amber lied, manipulated, and gaslit hard, and would not bring herself to admit that she did anything wrong, even after Emily said over and over and over again, this is what you did, please acknowledge it. And she just wouldn't. And instead of addressing it, which we knew she wouldn't, right? At best, she was just going to lie about it. But I think this might even be worse by tripling down on being the victim. She just gets worse and worse and worse. No matter what happens, when she comes out the other side, she's worse than she was before. Or we realize she's worse than we thought, you know? And then Jordy's unprepared live stream says, you haven't moved on. You were harassing Emily recently. And that is true. Because remember, as Rachel said, Emily knew about this hospital visit and knew that nothing came of it. And the reason she knew about that is because Amber was trying to get Emily to respond, trying to manipulate Emily by trying to scare her. But I don't think she cares anymore. I think her days of feeling sorry for Amber are long gone. Now, I still am not a big fan of Emily. Don't get me wrong. I know she's got a lot of things not to like about her. But we don't constantly see new evidence of Emily being more and more of a monster than we thought, right? Like, we know what Emily has done, and there may be more. But as far as we know, we have figured out all the terrible things that Emily has done. And they're bad, allegedly, maybe. But we just keep finding out more and more about how bad Amber is.
Oh yeah, so October, November, short, just I'll be on like random little things. Like I'll post TikToks here and there, whatever. Live streams, blah, blah. But then come December, it's gonna be strictly just vlogs. So I'll be taking a break from live streams during December, taking a break from shorts during December. That is all I know. What I'm doing in January, I don't yet have an answer to that. So I will be.
Yeah, obviously. You think she plans any of this stuff out? Of course not. Every once in a while, she will come up with a schedule that she sticks with for a very short while. But yeah, you really think she's going to know in October what she's going to be doing in January? Of course not. Even if she said, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing in January, when January came, it would be something completely different. It would just be a bunch of bullshit. And the only reason she can sort of confidently say she's going to do Vlogmas is because she's done it before. And it's easy. And she's already said she's going to do a cozy and simple Vlogmas. Meaning, it's going to be a couple minutes long. It's going to be nothing. Her just sitting and doing this, where she's saying, I love Christmas. And here's my decorations. This is the decorations that I ordered on Amazon. My mom took me to bingo. And that'll be it. That'll be her Vlogmas. It'll be no different than any other vlog or any other live stream, other than there will be Christmas decorations in the background. And I will be surprised if she actually does Vlogmas every day of December. I doubt she will. Now, she did last year, and I was surprised. So maybe she'll surprise me again. But even if she does, it will be nothing burgers over and over and over again, and they will be very short. Brian says, have you considered joining WWE as a pro wrestler? I mean, what would her wrestler name be? Maybe Orange Chicken or Deep Fried Gorl. Well, let me tell you something, brother. You don't want to cross the Dordashian. Oh, that was stupid. So Brian says, you should be John Cena for Halloween. WWE Lynn. And she actually reads that one.
John Cena, what the heck?
She doesn't understand What Brian is saying is, hey, you're good at throwing people on the ground. Maybe you should be a pro wrestler. You could be one for Halloween. That was good. I like that one because it's subtle and it got her to read it. But also, don't give her money.
Brian, me too, love. I thought about that too. Yeah.
So, did you hear what she said? She said, Brian, me too, love. I've thought about that too. And Brian said, I think Rachel purposely posted that during October to ruin your mental health, to be honest. So when somebody leaves a chat that is not real nice to Rachel, she will respond to that, right? Brian's basically saying, Rachel was being mean to you to ruin your mental health. Amber says, oh yeah, me too. I think so too. And what that tells me is that her mental health isn't great because she jumped right on that message as soon as she saw it. Yeah, me too. I think she did that on purpose because you know how she likes to say, everybody's hurting me. And I think in her mind, she's like, Rachel is just trying to hurt me. But if she was in such a good space, as she said, and if she had moved on so hard, she probably would have just ignored that message. But she had to agree with that one. All right, you guys ready to be mad? Because there's a super chat that Amber's about to read. And whoever this is either has not seen the Rachel video or they're okay defending and supporting an abuser who, at this point, it's very likely threw out her cat just to get attention from the person that she abused.
I usually don't do this and I'm not a member, but some of y'all are ruthless and it's just sad at this point. Amber, praying for you. Thank you so much. Like, that means the world to me. Thank you, thank you.
You all are ruthless. We're ruthless for calling out the absolute immoral monster that is Amberlynn when we find out that she is even more of a monster than we thought. We're ruthless. Celestial Essence, you might want to go watch Rachel's video. You might want to actually read the texts. I'm going to just give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you have not watched that video or you have not seen the texts. Because if you have and you're still saying something like this, you're a piece of shit. And you're supporting a piece of shit. So Cornbread here says, it's like everyone forgot what Emily did to/with her fiance. Everyone hated her when she was with ALR, but now that they're not, she's suddenly being praised. She's not being praised. We are acknowledging that Amber was an abuser. All right? And think about this, Cornbread. Amber knew what Emily did to or with her fiance, allegedly, and chose to be with her anyway. So that's on Amber. She knew exactly what she was getting herself into if that happened. Now, it could be argued that Emily should have known what she was getting herself into, but none of us really knew how bad Amber was. We all assumed it was this bad. In fact, all the texts really did was sort of validate everybody's theories on how bad Amber is. So yeah, Emily probably should have known what she was getting herself into. Again, I don't think she knew how bad it was because most of us didn't know for sure how bad it was. But I still think Emily's an idiot for getting involved with Amberlynn to begin with. But again, Amber knew for sure what she was getting into. She saw the pictures, she knew who Colleen was, and she even said the first day they met, she found out that Emily was a feeder.
Literally, the day that we met in person, she messaged a girl saying how sexy she was. She messaged another masked lesbian feeder saying, wow, we're rare. Masked lesbian feeders. That's the day I found out the truth.
So they both should have known better. And I don't know anybody who's saying Emily's wonderful. So far, everybody that I have seen cover it say, yeah, Emily's not great either. We don't know what all went on in the background. We know that Emily has done some really shitty stuff, but we can also recognize that Amber was the aggressor and would not take accountability.
Easy. I went through a highlighter phase and now I'm just trying to choose my favorites so I can keep my favorites and then give the rest to my mom. My mom loves my little piddly stuff that I get rid of. It's so cute. Oh my God.
I went through a highlighter phase, which is weird. I mean, I guess you can collect highlighters, but I guess you can collect anything. But think about what she's saying. She's saying, I want to keep the good ones, my favorites, and then the crap that I don't want, I'm going to give to my mom. And she loves getting all the crap, you know, all my secondhand shit that I don't want. She just loves getting all that. Isn't that cute? I don't think she realizes what a brat that makes her sound like. So Haley asks, what are you doing for work on your computer? And Amber says,
Haley, I'm working on something.
I'm working on something. Now, is she? No, obviously not. And I think she's sort of hinting that she's like writing a book. Maybe she's working on that book about Emily and all the lies, you know?
I could write a whole Emily encyclopedia of lies. I might publish that. Who knows?
Even if she did decide to write a book, she would write the first page or two and quit. But I will say that sort of makes the whole I work a little bit and then do my hobby and then work and then hobby bullshit make a little bit more sense.
I like to do things. I like to be productive and I like to mix it up with my hobbies. So throughout the day, I work, hobby, and I just go back and forth and it's just really productive for me.
Because when she says she works, she means she's working on something, right? So it doesn't have to actually be work. She's not accountable to anybody. There's nobody actually checking her work to make sure it gets done. She doesn't have to do anything right. So yeah, she can call it work when she sits down and types her journal or whatever crap she's working on and then go back to her hobby. So basically what she's doing is hobby and then hobby and then hobby and then back to her hobby.
Can we play Choosy? Oh my God, stop.
She is 35 years old. Stop.
I kind of want to come out with a Choosy game. I'm not gonna lie about it. No, that's not what I'm working on, but it's something I'm thinking about doing. And I am going to, obviously you have to pay for it, but I'm going to supply the stuff, obviously.
What stuff? You just get random crap and just choose between them. What stuff do you need?
And there's going to be like rules, like instructions, like how you get any board game. I'm actually kind of excited about it.
Of course, Amberlynn is absolutely going to release a Choosy game that includes instructions and everything, just like board games. She's very excited. It'll come out in never. And who would buy that? There's not an audience for that. In fact, the only reason you would really ever use Choosy or something like that is to try to pick something. Like that you needed to, like, which tie do I want to wear? Or in Amber's case, which highlighter do I want to use for this journal page where I can write E and A forever? And for sure, she couldn't put her name on it. If she put Amberlynn Reads Choosy, there's no way anybody would buy it. So I don't know if she's trying to say that she would do it digitally, but I'm giving her way too much credit. There's no way she's thought any of this through. Avocado Antics has been an obvious baby throughout this live stream and says, I genuinely don't understand. Truly, why are people so mean to you? I don't get it. You're always so nice. I have you on my prayer list at church. Can you imagine walking into a Sunday school room and on the board it says Joe, car broke down, Sarah, hospital, Amberlynn, haters. But then Jordy's unprepared live stream says, you need to watch more docs on her. She's horrible to everyone. Yeah, and she's a liar. And then Mind Grain here at the bottom says, the prayer list is crazy. Yes, it is. That is wild that you would put Amberlynn Reed on your prayer list at church. You need to get off the internet. You need to touch grass, friend. All right, so somebody asks, why did you raise your prices?
They're not raised. They're the same.
So I was like, are they? Because we saw a screenshot where it was like $13 a month instead of 10. But if you go and look, it is just 5 and 10, which means she lowered them back down. When it started going around and people started realizing she raised the prices, she dropped them back down. I also like this super chat. It says, say hi to Rarity for us since you'll be joining her sooner rather than later. I mean, truth hurts. All right, I think that's about as much as I can take. So I am just not surprised that she's not going to address the Emily stuff, because what can she say? She's already lied through her teeth and played the victim and tried to Darvo the situation by making Emily look like the bad guy. So it would just be more of the same to her. To us, we saw a real glimpse into the mind of a person who has zero moral compass, someone who feels justified treating somebody however they want, as long as she feels like she's been slighted. Amberlynn Reed is unequivocally a horrible human being. And now, if you're still an Ambaby after this, then you are unequivocally a horrible human being as well. It'll be interesting to see if she can continue ignoring the chats, because it just won't stop being brought up. People keep talking about it. And hopefully that will remain, right? If they're paying money to speak in her chat, you might as well use your membership for good and keep the Emily texts on her mind for as long as we can. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.